Yeah, hi guys. So, yeah, I just noticed some. It's very difficult to give the saints or the mid-trib people or the any of the tribulation people that are going through tribulation any info. It seems like you're beaten against a brick wall, and you really are. You are so beaten against a brick wall, and the wall is God. Right? It's God that's stopping you, and until you understand that, you actually can't help the saints, right? Which is what I know you want to do. That's exactly what we want to do. We've all been striving for that goal um, since the start. So what you got to realize is God's not going to let them advance, and as you guys know, God gives you hurdles. Every little hurdle you get over, then He'll give you another one after that. But you've just got to get past that first little test, and then the second one, third one, blah blah blah. And He just keeps putting you through a few. Now you'll notice He uses the word "eat" a few times, and when it's referring to eat, it's usually about the word, right? And studying and learning and absorbing what you're learning and all that. So with these people, they don't want to eat what you're offering, right? They're not yeah, they don't want to accept what you're saying. And also, I don't want those people in amongst my crowd either, because I don't want them at my crowd eating what these people are offering. Howbeit, there is not every man's knowledge, for some with conscience of idols unto our eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. For if any man sees thee which has knoweth sittest at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols. So, um, yeah, these ones here are good ones. But if any man say to you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not of his sake. So, a good demonstration of that is this man. Now, I followed him for 7 years, and 4 of those years he neglected. Well, actually, it was longer than that. 6 of those years, I followed him for a long time. Actually, he neglected to say the verse about the thing about Genesis 1:26, right, where he says Jesus is in there. Well, he calls them aliens and critters and whatever else. He didn't say it. He dropped that 4 years later after I was right into following him. And then, yeah, I figured him out. So now he says Jesus has handed him all honor and glory and all that sort of stuff that comes with the scrolls that no man can look on, no man can touch, no man can anything, even if they're open. Jesus apparently has handed him these scrolls. He said, "Yep, I've been given them." And still, I can show this to his followers, and it's actually nice to hear a bit of silence. Usually, they'll just bite back, and it doesn't matter what I say. But some of them are starting to notice, which is good. So this is what I'm saying. So for a bride to help these people come around, you have to give them the correct God. Until they have the correct God, like the Jews, they will be blinded. The Jews are blinded for our sake, so that we can come in, and they're blinded by God. And so are these other people that we're trying to help. So a lot of us are saying, yeah, well, they're only reading Matthew. That's why they're like that. Right? So they're all reading Matthew. Well, yes, that's true. They're reading Matthew because they think they're Judah, right? Those that say they are Jews but are not, but do lie, I will make them come and worship at your feet, right? This is a verse written to Christians about Christians for Christians, right? So God's saying these people, these Christians are walking around speaking like and thinking and they sound like because they're only reading Matthew. All right, so you can't tell them it either, because if you say to a Jew who thinks they're a Jew, you think you're a Jew, they'll go, yeah, I know. So you're not going to help them, you can't do it that way by showing them that. So what you got to do is give them the correct God. And to find out if they've got the correct God or not is just those two questions. It's taken years to hit on this. Is those two there? Is Jesus God? And is the Trinity Godhead / Godhead true? Alright, so you ask those two questions to these people, and that's what you need to find out. And if you can't ask them, then you can go through their platforms. So this fella here, the truth is stranger than fiction. So one of my brothers, he's been following these guys for a long time. So have I. I've been watching. I like his videos. But he said to me, he assures me that this man is a man of God. Now, an antichrist, right, is a man of God. They do not hate God. They love God. They just love the wrong God. That's the definition of the antichrist, and it comes from John 8:24. If you do not say that I am he, you will die in your sins. So the exact opposite of that is true. If you do say that I am him, you will not die in your sins. You see what I'm saying? So if you've taken the mark, right, you're going to die in your sins. So you can figure out the rest.
Like, it's the description of the human psyche as an agent that's active in the confrontation with what it doesn't understand. And that...
Yeah, so he does the Logos. He likes Logos, this truth is stranger than fiction fella. And in this video here, yes, he admits Jesus is God.
His own received him not, but as many as received him, to them he gave the power to become the sons of God.
Yeah, so he goes through and explains Jesus is Logos. Okay, very good. So if you have a look through, so he's got one of the two questions correct, all right? Tick the first one. So I type in Trinity into his search thing. I only got 4 things out. He's got 530 videos. So got nothing there. Alright, so I do know he doesn't like Catholics. You know, we're not all fans of Catholics, but people will associate the word 3 with Catholics. If you agree with this word 3, which is what Trinity means, right? So if I said the word trilogy, which is 3 books, 1 story, but 3 books, right? If I say that to people, they can understand it. But as soon as I say Trinity, they think Catholic. You're a Catholic, dirty, disgusting Catholic. So the word Trinity is tied to Catholics. So this is the difficulty that they have in accepting Trinity, or the word we use to describe God. We can't find any other good words. It's really hard to find a good word to help get across who God is. Godhead, I had a search for that. There's a few other things, a couple other there, but nothing big. So he's got this website here, and I noticed here, we see as through a glass darkly, and I was like, oh, okay, we see through glass darkly, fair enough. You go back up here, and you have a look at this. It's the excellence of love. Alright, so this is exactly what he's missing. The excellence of love, right? Charity. So God, being the perfect love, the excellence of love, is charity. Alright, and to have charity, you need 2 or 3. You cannot have charity to yourself, as that's not perfect love. Alright, so for him, God doesn't need creation or anything. He exists out of time. He still is perfect love, right? So within himself, he has 3 persons who love each other. Father loves the Son, Son loves the Spirit, Spirit loves the Father, etc. You get the picture. Within that is charity. He has to have charity to be our God. You see what I mean? Now this man here, as he says, sees through the glass darkly. His is still very darkly. So the trick with these people, if you want to even start on them, and if you're serious about giving them the truth and that, you have to correct their view on God, because they've got the wrong view, and God is not a respecter of persons. So it doesn't matter how much work this fella's done, until he gives himself to God and trusts in God, and just pesters God to help him with it, whatever he needs to do, to see who God is and understand a bit more about God. And yeah, it's difficult because the Catholics just make it so hard. They've attached themselves to the Trinity and that. But what's the other one you could look for? There's to show the Trinity thing. So if you have a look in Blue Letter Bible and you go to 1 Timothy 3:16, and go to there. This is why I like the Blue Letter Bible. This is where I started realizing stuff. And without controversy is the great mystery of godliness. God was manifest in the flesh. So you can go to the tools here, and you click on God, Theos. Alright, so who is God that manifested in the flesh? And you'll see here, Trinity, and Godhead. Alright, so you've got Godhead and Trinity. So that's why you'll see in that question that I asked, Trinity/Godhead. They're both the same things. You'll see these two groups of people arguing against each other. Godhead, Trinity, Godhead, Trinity. And neither of them seem to win because they're both sides of the same sword. Same word. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's in the basis of training people up to understand before you even bother giving them the ministry of veiled verses or lines or that sort of stuff, or even the short videos or the playlist at the start there. Before any of that, you've got to make sure they know who God is. Otherwise, they won't be able to accept it. They just can't. It's not going to happen because you're fighting against God, and God ain't going to let it happen. Alright, so I hope that helps. God bless.